There's a quiet game women play, not because they want to manipulate you, but because it's how they protect themselves when feelings start to get real. When a woman starts catching deep feelings, it rarely looks like those loud declarations people expect. It doesn't look like "I miss you" or "I want to see you." Sometimes it shows up as hesitation, a pause before she replies, or a sudden quietness in a conversation where she used to be carefree. Sometimes it feels like mixed signals, and you're left wondering if she's in or out. But here's what's really happening. The deeper she feels, the more vulnerable she becomes. And that vulnerability terrifies her, especially if she's been hurt before, betrayed, or led on by men who made promises they couldn't keep. Attachment feels like a risk she can't fully take, so she hides it. Even as it grows, if you know how to watch closely, you'll see it's there, under her laughter and her quiet days. One of the first signs is how she pays attention to the smallest details. The things you mention in passing without thinking, the snack you like from a random store, that one song you said hits you differently, a story about your childhood you only told once. Weeks later, she brings it up as if it was nothing, but that isn't random. That's emotional focus. She's not just listening to you. She's cataloging you quietly, placing small parts of you inside her world, creating space for you without you even noticing. She may act casual when she brings it up, but it's proof her heart is already investing before her words can catch up. Because for a woman, the moment she starts remembering your details without trying, it's not just interest anymore. It's the first quiet step into emotional attachment she's too scared to admit yet. And it's your first clue she's already feeling something real. Asterisk, another sign you'll notice is how she goes quiet when you start pulling away. It's not that she's losing interest, even if it looks like that on the surface. She isn't getting angry or dramatic. She just becomes quieter. Her replies get shorter. Her energy feels different. You might think she's matching your disinterest. But what's really happening is she doesn't know how to handle the sudden shift in your energy. She doesn't want to seem clingy or desperate, so she mirrors your distance while inside her mind is running in circles, asking herself, did I do something wrong? Is he mad at me? Is he talking to someone else? That spiral of overthinking isn't coming from indifference. It's coming from a place of emotional attachment. If she didn't care, she wouldn't even notice your silence. Watch how she reacts. When other women are around you, especially if they're attractive or if they seem to get your attention, she might act like she doesn't see it, might smile and keep herself busy. But if you pay attention, you'll notice the tiny changes. In her body language, she might straighten her posture, go quiet, or touch you lightly, reestablishing her presence without saying a word. Sometimes she'll pull back, creating distance to protect herself from the jealousy she doesn't want to show. Either way, if you see her energy shift when another woman is in the picture, understand it's not just curiosity, it's a quiet sin. She's emotionally invested. She will also test the waters with questions that seem random, but they're not. She asks, do you think people can fall in love fast? How have you ever met someone who makes you feel calm? She isn't asking for fun. She's trying to understand your views on love and closeness without risking her pride. Wants to talk about connection, but is too scared to ask directly how you feel about her, so she wraps it in theory, hoping you'll give her a reason to feel safe enough to open up later. Asterisk, look at how she behaves online when she's quietly catching feelings. It's not always direct or obvious, but the signs are there if you pay attention. She might post more on her stories or feed when she knows you're watching, dropping a selfie when you've gone quiet, or posting a quote that feels like it's aimed straight at you. It isn't random. It's a silent way of keeping your attention without having to say, I miss you. She wants you to see her, to notice her energy, to remind you that she's there, even when she doesn't have the courage to reach out. First, it's her indirect way of letting you into her emotional world while protecting herself from rejection. She gets nervous around you in small, unspoken ways, not because she's shy, but because she's emotionally exposed when you're near. If she was indifferent, she'd be relaxed and casual. But when she starts fixing her hair more, adjusting her clothes, checking her phone to break eye contact, or laughing a little too hard at your jokes, it's not just habit. It's her trying to hide how much she's feeling, covering the emotions that would spill out in stillness. She's trying to protect herself from being too seen too soon, while her body betrays her real feelings every time you walk into the room. When she brings you small gifts, or does favors without calling them gifts, saying, "I saw this and thought of you," or "I figured you could use this," it's never just casual. It's her way of giving to you without confessing how much she actually cares. A woman who's emotionally detached doesn't put thought into what would make you smile or feel seen. But when she's quietly catching feelings, she will find small ways to invest in you, to become part of your day, while still keeping it light enough so she doesn't spook herself by admitting how deeply she's already feeling inside. Asterisk, if she asks about your past relationships, it's not because she's bored or just making conversation. She's trying to understand what kind of women you've chosen before, what you liked, what hurt you, and if she's different from them, it's not small talk, it's quiet research, because she's measuring herself against your past without admitting she cares where she stands in your world. If she didn't feel attached, she wouldn't even think about the women who came before her. But when she's catching feelings, she wants to know if she's someone you could truly value. She'll also check if you're seeing anyone else, but never directly. Instead, she'll say things like, "You probably have a lot of girls after you," or "So, are you talking to anyone else?" She'll laugh or make it sound like a joke, but that question is loaded. She's not asking for fun. She's checking to see if she has you to herself, hoping for reassurance without having to confess that she cares about your answer more than she wants to admit. She might fish for reassurance in small, careful ways, saying, "You're probably just being nice to me," or "I bet you say that to every girl." It might sound like insecurity, but it's emotional deflection. She wants to hear that she matters to you, but wants an escape route if you don't confirm it, so she can pretend she didn't mean it seriously. She mentioned other men lightly, talking about someone who texted her, or a guy from her past. Not to make you jealous, but to watch your reaction closely. She wants to know if you care, if you'll fight for her if she slips away, or if you'll stay indifferent. These are quiet tests. Small moments where she's trying to find out where she stands without ever having to ask directly. Protecting her pride while searching for signs that you feel the same way she does. Asterisk, her energy always tells the truth, even when her words try to hide it. When you're near her, pay attention to the way she softens. Her voice changes. She slows down. She finds small excuses to stay longer, to keep the moment alive just a bit more. She laughs more easily. She touches you on the arm. She leans in slightly when you speak. It's not accidental. Women can control what they say, but their nervous system will always betray what they feel. Emotional attachment shows up in the body first, long before it ever shows up in a confession or a message. Sometimes, when she's feeling brave, she'll almost say something real and then pull back quickly. She'll say things like, "I'm glad you're around," or "I don't know why, but I feel good when I'm with you." And then she'll laugh it off, change the subject, or go quiet because she realizes the truth slipped out. If you don't rush her in those moments, if you stay calm and steady, she will feel safe enough to bring that truth back when she's ready. She becomes protective over your time, noticing when you cancel plans or when you seem more distant. Even if she tries to act cool about it, she withdraws subtly, not because she's angry, but because your distance affects her more than she wants to admit. She quietly starts to close the doors to other men. Not announcing it, but her attention narrows. She doesn't flirt the same, doesn't entertain attention the same, because her focus is shifting towards you, even if her pride won't let her say, "I picked you." She worries more when she thinks she's said something wrong, over-apologizing, sending a follow-up text, getting quieter because she's scared she pushed you away. That hyper-awareness is a sign she sees you as someone who matters. And if you can remain steady, patient, and calm, she will eventually reveal everything, not because you demanded it, but because she finally feels safe enough to let you see what she's been quietly holding in her heart all along.